You should have noticed some conversational difficulties that those boys were having in that conversation. But often these characteristics come out when there's poor conversational initiation, in other words, approaching people for a conversation. They have a hard time being the speaker. They might also have a hard time being the listener. They have a hard time with topic maintenance and just understanding the discourse of a normal conversation, that the turn taking part, and how stories are told and used to explain things. All those things these kids are going to have a hard time with. And lastly, in this area, they often have difficulty with metalinguistic skills. So that means they have a hard time reflecting consciously on language. It's kind of like metacognition is when you can think about thinking. Meta language is talking about thinking about your language. Unless you study language as a profession or a career, you just use it. It's not something you study. And so that's really hard for some kids to be able to think about language. Now, this is not necessarily essential for developing spoken language, right? It's talking about when you have to start using that language to know how to read and write. It's going to be used when you're playing word games, you're using rhymes, or you are recognizing non-grammatical sentences, and it's definitely going to be used in non-literal language. So they're going to have some difficulties with things like sound categorization, so grouping words by maybe the beginning sound. All those phonological awareness tasks will be hard because that requires thinking about what you're saying, thinking about your language. It can lead to reading difficulties, problems with word retrieval. And then metalinguistic skills are connected to your ability to associate words and meanings, so vocabulary. So like I've talked about many times and will continue to reiterate, this is all connected. And so we can start this positive snowball by working on these things and have encouragement that because they're connected, if we improve one, we're most likely going to improve many other things. But on the same regard, to that same note, if some things are slacking or lacking is probably a better word, you can see how it's going to greatly affect a lot of other areas as well.